What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Get a Grip Sports NASCAR. Today we are going to be talking about the 2013 NASCAR Nationwide Series. Before we get into today's video, I'd like to give a quick shout out to Plan B Sales. Plan B Sales is a diecast seller, and they are my personal favorite diecast seller. And now, when you use code GETAGRIP on orders over $20, you can get free shipping. So don't forget to check them out. I will leave a link in the description. Now let's get into the video. The 2013 NASCAR Nationwide Series, now known as the NASCAR Xfinity Series, was dominated by Cup Series drivers. In fact, 29 out of the 33 NASCAR Nationwide Series races were won by Cup Series drivers. That means that only 4 races were won by full-time Nationwide Series drivers. I'm going to be taking a deeper look into what would have happened if Cup Series drivers weren't allowed to race in the Nationwide Series. So for this video, I'm using either runner-up or the best finishing nationwide full-time driver to determine who would have won those races, and I'll add up all the points. And one more thing, I will be doing the present day playoff system. I feel like it'd be cool to add that in. So let's hop into the video. The first race of the 2013 Nationwide Series was at Daytona. And this was the race with that huge Kyle Larson wreck that sent debris into the crowd. The winner of that race was Tony Stewart, but the runner-up for this race was Sam Hornish Jr. He was a full-time Xfinity Series racer, and because Tony Stewart wouldn't have been racing, hypothetically, Sam Hornish Jr. would have won. So that is the first win of the season. Bowman comes in second. Parker Kligerman comes in fourth. And in last place, we have Green. And he still gets 4 points from it, because that's how the points worked back then. Overall, Hornish Jr. already has a win. I feel like Hornish Jr. is going to be really dominant this year because he was really good, but he was always outshined by Cup Series drivers, and he was one of the 2 drivers that got wins that were full-time Xfinity Series drivers. So we're going to skip past Phoenix and go straight into Las Vegas, because that is where the first of 2 full-time Xfinity Series drivers actually won the race in real life. This one being Sam Hornish Jr. He held off Kyle Busch to get the win, and it was an impressive race. You could see why he was such a household name. He was very good at every track back in 2013. And this definitely shakes a lot of stuff up, because we don't have to pretend like anything. We have the standings for it. So this was my favorite race of the season because it was easiest for me to make. And I liked Sam Hornish Jr., and it was an exciting race. Great driver he was in that race. And Michael Annett did not race in this one. I thought he might be a contender, but he's going to miss the next 2 to 3 races, so we'll see how that plays out. For the 8th race of the season, we went to Talladega and went super speedway racing. Now, I didn't have to change anything here either, because Regan Smith won this one just barely, but still, it's a win. I'm going to catch you guys up on how the standings are looking now that we are in the 8th race of the season. Leading the pack is Regan Smith with 305 points. Second, Sam Hornish Jr., 278. Justin Allgaier in third, and Parker Kligerman in fourth. Tied with Elliott Sadler for fourth, actually. And drivers who have won a race this year: Sam Hornish Jr. has won 3. Justin Allgaier has won 1. Kyle Larson has won 1. Austin Dillon has won. Brian Vickers has won 1, and Regan Smith won his first at Talladega. Next time I will be coming to you guys is when we are midway through the season at the 16th race of the season. Well, this isn't the 16th race of the season. This is the 12th race of the season at Iowa, where Trevor Bayne gets the win. He is also a full-time Nationwide Series driver, so I wanted to throw that in there. And the standings currently now run: Smith in first, Hornish Jr. in second, Allgaier in third, and Austin Dillon in fourth. Hornish Jr. still leads with wins with 3. Kyle Larson has 2. Brian Vickers has 2 also, and Trevor Bayne has 1. And just the next week following Iowa, Regan Smith wins at Michigan. Another win for him. He is the points leader currently, and he has a very good chance of winning the title this year. Sam Hornish Jr. just won his 5th race of the season at Iowa Speedway. Quick update, 2 races until the playoffs. Austin Dillon is the series leader. Sam Hornish Jr. and Regan Smith are tied for 2nd, and Elliott Sadler is in 4th. On the wins column, Hornish is leading with 5 wins. Tied for 2nd is Brian Vickers and Elliott Sadler, both with 3 wins. And tied for 3rd, Justin Allgaier with 2 wins, Kyle Larson with 2 wins, and Regan Smith with 2 wins. Leading these standings heading into the playoffs is Sam Hornish Jr., who wound up with a record 9 wins, or not a record, but he's a season leader. Austin Dillon came in 2nd, and he has 2 wins. Regan Smith came in 3rd with 2 wins. Elliott Sadler came in 4th with 3 wins. And Brian Vickers rounds out the top 5 with 3 wins. Just barely making the cut is Parker Kligerman with no wins, Alex Bowman with no wins, and Piquet Jr. with no wins. At the first race of the round of 12 at Kentucky, Austin Dillon wound up getting the win, automatically putting him in even though he was good on points. At Dover, surprise upset winner, we have Kyle Larson, who would have been eliminated. He was in a must-win situation, so that's good for him. That's really bad for Trevor Bayne. He is now in a must-win situation. And at Kansas, Regan Smith is back in victory lane, meaning that the 4 eliminated drivers are Nelson Piquet Jr., Alex Bowman, Parker Kligerman, and Trevor Bayne. In the round of 8 at Charlotte, Austin Dillon picks up the win. At Texas, Sam Hornish Jr. picks up his 10th win of the season. At Phoenix, Justin Allgaier, who is in a must-win situation, picks up the win. That moves Elliott Sadler out of the way, and he will be eliminated. Now, the 4 cars that will be eliminated are Kyle Larson, Mike Scott, Brian Vickers, and Elliott Sadler. And at Homestead, Kyle Larson wins the race, but he is not in the championship 4. The next highest finisher is Parker Kligerman, also not in the championship 4. With the highest championship 4 finisher was Sam Hornish Jr., so he would get the championship in today's playoff format if there were no Cup drivers in 2013 too. So you gotta put that in there also. So Austin Dillon actually won this in real life. Sam Hornish finished 2nd, but in this not official but pretty good estimate of what would have happened, Sam Hornish Jr. gets 10 wins and wins the championship. As always, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on those notifications. And don't forget to look in the comments for the link to Plan B sales. And I'll see you guys next time.